Welcome back. The content drought is over, now that my unemployment levels are at a more stable level. We left off with me defeating the leader of Team KKK and earning the 5th gym badge, and since my last upload, I've had a lot of time to reflect upon my Nuzlocke and I've come to realise something important. I haven't been fishing enough. Pair this with the fact that I completely missed my fishing encounter within Driftvale last episode, and I find myself exploring the wonders of an American Bass Pro Shop in preparation for facing off against the strongest Pokemon that roams the Unovan seas. Now Aussie here might not look like much, but he grows up to be an incredibly fast Pokemon with deadly kill power. I mean, come on, you have eye, couldn't you tell this was the fucking dragon Pokemon? Though you could argue that this is blatant misinformation, as Aussie doesn't become a dragon type until he evolves into his final form. How does he evolve into his final form? Well, you need to go get the dragon scale. How do you do that? Mug a Dratini. What's Dratini's home address? Here are the coordinates. So we fly all the way back to Route 1 in order to engage in some high quality gameplay. A couple of things I forgot to mention. First is that Dratini can only be found from a special fishing spot, and if you don't know what that is that. I don't have surf to get over there. Second is that it's a 30% chance to find Dratini from that, and probably only a 10% chance for it to have the dragon scale. Do the math. That's like 3% chance for me to get it, and I ain't up for all that. Thankfully, I only spent about 15 minutes before coming to that realization, so I head back to Driftvale, change my team, make my way over to the next route, and then I don't run into Bianca who wants to fight me. My screw up isn't too bad because it just happens to be raining as I lead with Swash, who can therefore easily one-shot the lead Mianfu with Razor Shell. This brings in Musharna, so I send in Starvit to spam Encore and Minimize, which goes great until Musharna breaks through and lands a critical hit Psychic. This forces me to switch into Bacon, who can tank everything he's hit with thanks to Eviolite, and after some back and forth healing, Musharna goes down. This brings in Emball, so I send in Swash, but by the time I send him in, Emball's already been disintegrated by the rain. Bianca then sends in Simisage, who, aside from another account of sexual assault, can't do anything to Bloomer, who gets one shot with Venoshock. This leaves Persian last, so I send in Bacon to tank everything Persian can throw at me. Persian goes for Slash before using Taunt, which lets me get off an Avalanche for free. This causes Bianca to carefully assess and evaluate the situation she's in before an Earthquake finishes the job. Thankfully, this was one of the less relevant fights that I wouldn't have even covered had I not been so underprepared, and so I correct my team before making my way over to Chargestone Cave. But sadly, the cave is blocked off by webs created by the wild Galvantula that nest here, and surely this roadblock could only be removed with the help of an incredibly powerful Pokemon, the likes of which my team couldn't hope to live up to. That Pokemon is of course Clay's Krokorok, which stands at a monstrous 3 feet tall, and just so happens to be the only Pokemon to have 3 Ks in its name. With the webs out the way, is he just gonna stand there? Does he want me to walk up to him? Okay, I guess I'll talk to him. So do you guys want to have a Pokemon battle, or... Oh, okay, yeah, I'm listening. What the fuck was that? Hi friend, do you want to hear about rocks? Not particularly. Please, go ahead. Did you know that the rocks in this cave can float in the air and they have electricity in them and shit, and apparently they're blue because they're mostly comprised of crystal. And that's my plan for overthrowing the government. Anyways, I'm gonna be waiting for you at the end of the cave. Bye. Hold on, I zoned out. What happened? So now Team Plasma's guarding the exit to the cave, and in preparation for fighting them, I decide to get a new encounter. With so many great options to choose from, including my favourite Pokemon of all time, I can't wait to see what I get.
Hello, your computer has virus.
Okay, well that was unexpected, but Drillbur is still a phenomenal encounter. I just didn't want to risk entering a dust cloud and finding a Diglett instead. I paralyze it, but an Earthquake does a bit too much for my liking, so I switch out into Bacon for his bulk. I'm able to outspeed on the next turn in order to land a Body Slam, and with that, the battle has been won. Fuck, I was supposed to catch that. I literally do not know how I completely forgot that I was fighting Drillbur for the sole purpose of adding it to my party. I am never beating the dementia allegations after that one. Thankfully it was just one encounter, who really cares? What's that? It was like that when I got there, I swear I didn't mean to. Now you listen here. You stupid little shit. Look me in the eyes. Yes, ma'am. I said look me in the fucking eyes. If this shit ever happens again, you'll disappear. And nobody will find you. You understand? Yes, ma'am. You disgust me. So with that out of the way, I'm able to progress to the lower parts of the cave where Team Plasma has set up a gauntlet for me to challenge. We breeze through with crispy, and because of this, I'm beginning to think that maybe this game isn't so difficult after all. Perhaps everybody who has ever said this was the hardest ROM hack was just some toddler talking out their ass. Could you tell that I'm about to witness a tragedy of my own making? We reach the end of the cave where N is waiting for us, and do you remember back in my Renegade Platinum Nuzlocke when I said that Volkner was cheating by using 2 Rotom on his team? Yeah, N has a full team of 6. They all have Levitate, and I very quickly come to realise that Crispy is in fact not enough to sweep through the wall. Now if only I had a ground type Pokemon with Mold Breaker to negate their Levitate ability. Well, too bad there's nothing I can or could have done about that. We kill the first one with a combination of Flame Charge and Sucker Punch, but Wash Form comes out next, so we have to switch into Bloomer. She gets hit by a Scald, and this is a good time to mention that I didn't actually train any of my other Pokemon in preparation for this fight. Because of this, she loses about 30% of her HP from a Scald after it burns, and I can just barely tank a Shadow Ball on the next turn to finish with an Energy Ball. Fan Rotom is next, so I switch into Bacon, who can avoid a Hurricane on the switch in before getting rid of a substitute. After realizing that it can't get up a substitute, Rotom opts to be more offensive and hits a Hurricane, which doesn't do much thanks to our Eviolite. At least that's what I was thinking before my HP bar casually dropped to 31 due to a crit. To make matters worse, Rotom Lawnmower comes in, which isn't great considering I was hoping that Rotom Heat would come in, allowing me to switch into Starbit, lock him into either a fire or electric type attack so that I could then switch into Crispy, who could have set up Flame Charges to sweep the rest of the Rotom regiment. But now I can't do that, and Crispy will probably die to a combination of Energy Ball and Leaf Storm if I send him in now. If only I had a Pokemon on my team whose potential for this part of the game died alongside my fishing career. Wait a fucking second.
Please, Speed, I need this! My mom is kind of homeless. Speed, I'm watching the stream while you try not to laugh, bro. That's disrespectful, bro.
With Crispy safely brought in, I can tank a Leaf Storm before killing with a Flame Charge. Then he sends in Rotom Fridge, but after doing some calculations, I discovered that I'm not guaranteed to outspeed it even after the speed boost I just received. Not to worry, because I can just send in Starbit, who can tank whatever Rotom uses and then lock him into an attack which one of my remaining team members either resists or is immune to. Why does this sound like the exact situation I was just in? How did that situation end again? Wasn't it like a crit or something? Oh fuck. With Starbit being reduced to just 47 HP, there's no chance for him to live a follow-up attack, but with my options exhausted, I have no other options but to let Starbit fall from a combination of being unlucky as well as extreme negligence on my part. As my only healthy team member remaining, I send in Swash, who isn't guaranteed to outspeed but just barely manages to land his first hit, which, despite being 2 levels beneath Rotom, is barely enough to kill. With the speed gained from leveling up, I become more confident in being able to outspeed the final Rotom, but the fact that my only means of safely killing it is with a move that has 95% accuracy doesn't sit well with me, so I devise a plan. I'll switch into Bacon, who's immune to a Thunderbolt, which will hopefully bait Rotom into using Lava Plume as I switch back into Swash, who can then use Encore to lock him into a resisted move. So here we go.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's fucking Piloswine, innit?
No, you dumb shit!
Oh. I don't think I mentally advanced past the age of 5. So now I have to switch back in on a Shadow Ball because there's no way in hell Rotom looked at Crispy and even considered the possibility of using Lava Plume. I have enough HP to try again, but the AI randomly chooses whatever move it knows will kill, and it still ends up choosing Shadow Ball. And now, my run has a 5% chance to end right here. Turns out those are pretty favourable odds. You know, I'm starting to reconsider my friendship with you. You always end up beating the shit out of me. You just held me at knife point, forced me to fight a gauntlet of Team Plasma grunts, and then killed 2 of my Pokemon. Yeah, but you killed all of my Pokemon. 4 times. Well, yeah, but my Pokemon died permanently, so 2 is a lot. Yeah, 2 is a lot. Hey, you see, somebody here get... I'm going to leave. Good luck. You have 5 seconds. Run. Exiting the cave as fast as humanly possible, I wind up in Miss Stroughton where I put the dead to rest before settling on the team that I want for the flying gym, plus Swash to help deal with training. We then run into the gym leader who is in the middle of abandoning her gym leader duties in favour of climbing Celestial Tower, where I must now venture in order to convince her not to do that. You'd think that despite the difficulty of N's fight, which was caused by my lack of preparation, that I'd decide to train up my team before making my way to Celestial Tower. But I argue that N's fight is intended to be more difficult than the average trainer, and therefore the short trip to Celestial Tower shouldn't pose nearly as much of a problem as the literal king of Team Plasma. I'll be fine. Driano, you're evil for that one. So now, 3 more of my Pokemon, including both of my starter Pokemon, have fatally perished to Ace Trainer Elmer. That's actually the worst part about all of this. The man responsible for killing half of my team was named fucking Elmer. After this, I reconstruct my team and make sure to actually train them for the apparently dangerous environment of Route 7. We actually make it to Celestial Tower without any major casualties this time, and I find a Litwick by name Larry. Then nothing much of note happens until we reach the 3rd floor. So in Gen 5, there's a bug where in the 3rd and 4th floors of Celestial Tower, you can make every trainer NPC rotate by pressing the B button. And since there's no limit to how many times you can do this, I choose to make great use of this exploit. I got a bit lined up. I need the non-copyrighted version.
Hey y'all, this right here is the Bible slide.
Ah,
Featuring
yes.
the we're about to get holy, 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 and see it resurrect. Come alive this time. Right fist 2 pumps. Left fist 2 pumps. Don't look to the right.
So after that, I walk through the rest of the tower without issue as I pass by every trainer as if I'm Moses parting the Red Sea until I finally reach the top. We find the gym leader who says that we should try ringing the bell. I don't see why not. Then she leaves and we make our way back down the tower in order to prepare for the gym. The gym itself is structured so that once you start, you can't exactly leave until you've beaten all the trainers, but the real struggle is even having the bone structure to leave after being shot out of a cannon face first into a steel wall. We eventually crawl our way up to the gym leader with our newly improvised team ready to kick ass. The battle begins with my Pokemon coming out in the complete wrong order, a mistake that not 10 minutes ago cost me the lives of half my team. Nevertheless, Conquest goes first to land a strength which one-shot Skylar's Braviary, all while the rest of my team does solid damage to the remaining 2 who set up spikes and Tailwind. Glasgow replaces Braviary, which wouldn't be a problem if Bacon wasn't on the complete opposite side of the field. They use a combination of Protect and Fly to render both targets within its range invulnerable as an Ice Shard kills Mandibuzz. This brings in Archeops, who's only scary so long as he's above half HP. I switch Birdup out for Reginald, who's immune to a Thunderfang, as an Ice Shard brings Archeops to below half, which activates his Defeatist ability, also known as the absolute worst fucking ability in the game besides Truant and Slow Start. I predict that since Reginald is out, Glasgow's going to go for Earthquake, so I switch back into Birdup. I choose to use Fly to render myself invulnerable, but Archeops outspeeds to go for a Stone Edge which barely doesn't kill as I forfeit Bacon's turn to move him into center. Because Conquest is on such low HP, I prioritize killing Archeops first with an Ice Shard as Birdup protects the Thunderfang in the hopes that Skarmory won't go for a Steel Wing, but this unfortunately doesn't happen and now Conquest will deal one last blow before perishing.
You are who you choose to be.
Could I have saved Conquest by switching out instead of going for Fly? Maybe, but I also didn't think that I'd get outsped by Archeops, and is it really my responsibility to check the stats of my opponent's Pokemon to make sure that I don't get outsped in Tailwind? Don't answer that. Swarner comes out last as I replace Conquest with Corona. A nice shot and Flying Gym boosted Acrobatics kills the Gliscor and Swarner, which just leaves Skarmory by his lonesome. Killing Conquest must have given Skylar a massive fucking ego boost because I've never seen somebody more delusional than right now. Unsurprisingly, my entire team jumped Skarmory in one of the most brutal beatings I've seen in my years of suppressing protests, and with that, the battle has been won. That was single-handedly the most Pokemon I think I've ever lost in a singular section of any Pokemon game, and that's only made worse by the fact that every loss was or could have been some of my strongest Pokemon. Anyways, I'm going to completely ignore even more safety precautions same time next year. That's right, my upload schedule is only going to get worse from here, but that's it from me. Make sure to like and subscribe. See ya.